Hello everyone and welcome back to another edition of the Tea Brief, where today we are going to be talking about the SP60 which took place at Rye House on Saturday. Today is Monday, the day of filming this, so a couple of days ago I went to Rye House to compete in just the SP60. Unfortunately, again, no endurances. I was on engineering duty for slow coach racing, so nothing really to report there. We did all right. I think. There's not really much to say about that. So I'm going to be talking exclusively about the SP60 in this one. I'm going to be telling you about how I managed to get my hands on another one of these, another winner's trophy, my fourth winner's trophy of the year, making it now officially a more successful SP60 year than last year. Obviously, I still have a championship to win, so we got to wait for that to be confirmed before I can officially call this a more successful SP60 year. But from wins alone, I've got the 3 up there for the SP60, 3 up there, and now this one. So how did I get this thing? Well, let's start with qualifying. So Rye House. Actually, let's start with the track. Rye House. It's not been my most. It's not my favourite track in the world. Let's not get bogged down by niceties. In fact, it's up there as one of my least favourite for a whole vast array of reasons. Not all of them just limited to the track itself. But I've never really been a big fan of it. It's always been really bumpy, and being a super heavyweight, it's not exactly. It doesn't favour the heavier chap. So I've never really gone into it thinking like, oh, Rye House, can't wait for that one. I've always been like, okay, Rye House, see what happens. But somehow I always end up managing to pull out really good results at Rye. The first time I got from the B final into an A final in a sprint series, I did that at Rye House. My second victory last year happened at Rye House. So I've obviously, and particularly as well last year, I found myself on the leading pace through the early phases of race 1. So there's something about this track. It always seems to surprise me in the way that I sometimes gel with the track, and that is ultimately what happened here. It didn't quite go swimmingly the whole time. So qualifying was getting myself up to grips, and first of all realised that the improvements they've done at that track, finally resurfacing it for the first time probably since Lewis Hamilton raced there. I joke, of course, but the improvements were really, really good. The curbs, which originally were a death trap and had cones put on top of them, like, no, you can't use them, they've now been completely flattened, and they are a joy to go over. And it was really good. Like, you could use them, you could really properly use them and carry a bit more speed out of a corner or into a corner, knowing that you've got that curb to use, rather than I've got to avoid that curb for fear of a penalty. So that was really nice. I was like, oh, this is lovely. This is really good. So big props for that. So I was going about my business in practice, didn't really get overtaken much. And then coming into qualifying, the same thing really happened. I just couldn't quite get a lap together. I think it ended up being lap 3. I think it was something like a 40. To be honest, I don't even know. Either way, it put me down in 18th place. I was still on pole for the SHWs, but only just. The Stig Elboth was in 19th, and I was just like, right, okay, I've got to do my thing and climb up this grid to secure a good first result. And the start, I was on the outside for the start, and I thought, oh bloody hell, on the wrong side of the grid, I'm going to be mugged off down the inside. I'm going to be on the back foot straight away. As it turned out, the outside line was actually quite a good place to be, because obviously you've got there's the long right-hander that then leads, as you come out of it, it's then a left-hander, so you're immediately on the inside, and it just seemed, in race 1 and race 2, which I was on the outside for as well, every time there was an incident, it always seemed to happen just in front of me, and everyone got spewed off to the right. So I just dived down the left, down towards hairpin 1, and I was sorted. And I think on the start of race 1 as well, I got another position into the second hairpin. I was living my life. I then worked out on the main straight that my cart possibly didn't have the power of the guys around me because they were just sort of driving away a bit, and I was like, okay, we're gonna have to live with that. But things were still going well. I was carrying good speed through the corners, and I was getting an overtake done on the guy. I don't know his name, but he's got like an old-fashioned helmet. It's black, orange, and grey. Got a grey suit on. I don't, for the life of me, do not know the name. I thought I'd got the move done on the inside in hairpin 2. Coming on the exit down towards pylon, he was still on my right. I'm on the inside. He's on the outside. He correctly, with holding his line, basically forces me out wide. I've got to yield. That allows Ian Perkins, the Jensen Button wannabe, to come through, and then a chap in a red and white helmet came through as well, a guy I know that raced a bit last year. So I was like, oh damn, rather ruined everything, but I was soon back onto the back of them, and I knew my cart didn't have the pace on the straight, but I was close enough to think I can get this move done into the actual right kink where people leave a bit of a gap, so I was going to dive down the inside of the guy in red and white, and didn't work, and I completely took him out. It was completely my fault, and I was like, oh shit, that's a 6th place penalty coming my way. He was furious at me, rightfully so. I was very sheepish. I think I took someone out. I can't remember who it was. I think it's Kyrgios. I can't remember how to say his name. Really nice guy. I had a good chat with him after Wilton. Always say hello to him, but I can't remember exactly how to say his name. Hang on. Karolis Konstikas. I think I accidentally took him out along the way. But yeah, so that was really bad. But yeah, I should have got a 6th place penalty for it because it was an ABC takeout, and I didn't. Marshals didn't see me. It's one of them where that happens. It's happened to me before where I've been taken out and the guy hasn't got a penalty. It's happened to me where I haven't touched anyone and I've just lightly touched someone and it's been given as an ABC BAP. So it was just one of them, but it put me on the back foot massively. It ruined my race completely as well. So I just had to keep going through it. I lost places to Jamie Garside and Max Jameson, so I had to get back past them for position, which I ultimately did, and then just had sort of a nice sort of quiet end to race 1. In fact, I can't remember how race 1 ended. I haven't really looked back at the footage because it's not one that I want to look back on, but I was 14th by the end. So good stuff there. First in the SP60, first in the SHW, I should say. Max Jameson was 17th, so I was a little bit like, okay, he's there. I've got to watch out for him. But I knew that as long as the pace was there, as long as I got a good start and nothing bad happened, things would be good. Little did I know how good they would be, because we got going in race 2, as I mentioned, I was on the outside for turn 1, or the exit of turn 1, and things went well. People collided. They went off that way. I went down the inside. I was down the inside into hairpin 1. Zach Cuff, the guy in the all orange RS7 helmet, or maybe K7 CMR, I don't know. But he got mounted. I got past, and then I saw there were 4 guys in front of me. Carl Badger Walker is his name. And then a couple of other guys who I'm familiar with. A guy Clark. The guy who I took out at Lid, whose name I do not know, and some other guy, and in the distance there were the leaders. I thought, okay, I've got the 4 guys in front of me, cool. As I was coming up the main straight, however, I realised that I had a bit of a rocket on my hand, because I just saw, whereas in the previous race I'd seen the guys just drive away from me, I just saw them coming towards me in race 2, and I was like, well, I can just dive down the inside in turn 1. So that's what I did on the guy whose name I've forgotten. And I was like, okay, this feels good. So my race really is to get past these guys. And it was on the back of them for a little bit, and then eventually Kyle went down the inside of the other guy. I think he was in black and white. You had Clark, or maybe not Clark, somebody else was then, they were both on he went to the outside. The guy who Kyle had overtaken was in the middle. I was then on the inside, and I got both of them for the price of one. So I was like, nice. That was good. And then I was stuck behind Carl, and I have to say, I'll say this now, Carl had a fantastic day. I don't normally single people out for good results, but on this occasion I have to mention it, because I think through this season, I think it's fair to say it's been sort of lower midfield for the majority of the year. If I got that wrong, I apologise. But yeah, it's been down there. But for Rye, he was spot on. Pucker, really, really good results for him. I think he came 4th overall or 5th overall for the whole thing, which is brilliant. But it was quite funny because I tried to do a move down the inside into hairpin 1. It didn't quite work out. I was on the outside for hairpin 2, and he got back past. As we're on the way down to pylon, he's doing me the special signal like, they're up there, the leaders are up there. Come on, let's get them. And I'm like, Carl, I completely see what you're saying. I know exactly what you're trying to do. I'm faster, and I got him down the inside into championship corner, the first corner. I think he fought, in my opinion, fought it a little bit harder than needed to, but at the end of the day, I got past, and then I was just sat there, I was like, right, I'm 5th. I know I'm 5th because I can see Anwar, Alex, Andrew O'Neill, and Andrew Hall Jr. up in front of me. I'm like, they're all fighting. If I carry on like this, I'm going to be catching them. Me, James Johnston, John J, Rich T Racing, in the scrap for the lead. Surely not. Surely a gag. But Anwar got in front of them all, and then sodded off as he does. And then it was basically Alex was second, and then it was Andrew O'Neill, then it was Andrew Hall Jr. And I think it's fair to say that Alex and Andrew Hall had carts that possibly weren't on it because they looked a bit slow in a straight line. Alex was defending massively against O'Neill. Alex was given a forcing driver wide penalty on the main straight, which was later overturned for a contact warning. Okay, fine. It looked like a forcing driver wide penalty for me, but there we go. I think I'm just bitter about FGW penalties after Bayford last year. But ultimately that would have helped me in the long run. But there we go. But yeah, so I was coming on to the back of these guys, and I was like, I'm fast. I could actually go for it if I wanted to, but I was also conscious like, no, you've got the SHW to win. Focus on that, and that's what I did. But eventually, Andrew made a mistake, or he just lost it on the exit of the first corner. I was able to dive down the inside. I was like, I'm P4. How's this happened? What am I doing up here? But then Zach Cuff did a fantastic move on me into hairpin 2. It was literally like it came out of nowhere. So fair play for that one. I said to him after the race, like, yeah, that was a move. And then I was then following him back in P5. I knew my car was fast because I knew I was losing a bit of time through the corners. But when I looked back on the main straight, I could see that the guys they just weren't quite close enough to me. I was like, okay, sweet. But eventually, when I ran it a little bit wide through championship corner towards the end of the race, and then Andrew Hall Jr. was able to get back past me, I was like, okay, shit. So down to P6. That's okay. In my head at the time, I was still like, right, Alex has got a 4-place penalty coming his way. I'll still be P5 at the end of this, matching my best result. It will still be my best result ever. And then Andrew was able to get down the inside of Zach, and that put him off balance going out of the exit. And then I was able to down the inside, and I saw Zach bang the steering wheel as I went past. I was like, well, it was because he knew that there was nothing he could do. And I was like, right, bye. My place now. So that was brilliant. And then just towards the end, Andrew O'Neill broke down. He completely broke down. Pulled over to the side like, oh well, there you go. And I was like, I'm back up into P4. Me, P4. And just on the last lap, I was just like, if I was just maybe a bit braver into pylon, I could have had a go down the inside on Andrew Hall Jr. But I decided against it, came home for what I thought was P3, turned out to just be P4, and so my best result ever, best solo result ever in the SP60, coming home again with, as I mentioned, win number 4 of the year, and just really, really happy with that. And I think sort of just showing like how far I've come even since last year, because like last year I picked up something like, over the season I picked up like 28 places worth of penalties, and my positions were generally speaking between 10th and 20th. Now Like Wilton, I finished 6th and 9th. GYG 9th and 7th. Bayford 10th and 11th. Leeds a bit of a I was 12th and 20th, and then 14th for the first one, and then all of a sudden 4th. Like, just something to be really proud of. One that I'm really, really happy with, and again, beating now last year's tally for the SP60. Really, really great. And I'm not a mathematician. I can't make any assertions right now. But the fact is, I'm on 327 points or something, and the next super heavyweight is on 100 and something. So, gotta stay focused. Can't take anything for granted. Things might come up that mean I can't actually make any of the remaining rounds I'm meant to do, because now I'm in for Handau, Wilton, and Buckmore. So the championship is looking good, but I'm not going to be taking anything for granted. I'm not going to make any predictions or anything. I'm just going to keep doing my racing, because, you know, I mentioned on the last one that sometimes wonder, do I still like it? Do I still enjoy it? And the answer is a resounding yes. And it's days like Saturday that like to prove that. And yeah, it's just one of those things that really just gets you back into the mood. So that's it for this tea brief. I hope you've enjoyed my ramblings. I can't quite see how long I've been going on for, because I've got a big light pointed at me and I can't say, hang on. Oh, so bloody hell! I've been talking, ladies and gentlemen. So I think I'll leave it there. All I shall say for now, though, is thank you so much for watching. And if, as ever, if you're not subscribed to the channel, please be sure to do so that you know when more Club 100 content comes out. And all I shall say for now is ta-ta and farewell.